back to DivaDollFlawless. In today's video, I am showing you all how to use the contour button in Design Space. So what you see here is an image that is in Cricut Design Space. Now, this image is only one layer, and you can see that because over in the layers panel on the right hand side, this will tell you how many layers your image is. It will also tell you down here at the bottom of the screen where you see contour, if you can slice it, if it's something that can be weld, attached, or flattened. But again, in order to be able to use those, you would need to have multiple layers. But if you click duplicate, then you now have more than one. And sometimes that will open up other features. So as you can see here, both options are clicked. So now you see slice, weld, attach, and flatten. They are all highlighted, but contour is not. Okay, so that's just going to give you a gist as to what to look for, how it can be used, and it will tell you whether or not that option is available. Now you will also see group is also highlighted, ungroup isn't, but you know, that's neither here nor there. So what we want to be able to do is the contour. So if you look down here, again, all you see is contour is highlighted because that's the only layer that we have that's available. Okay, so in order to make this a multi-layer project where you could do some paper piecing, or you could cut this same image out, you could cut it out but use different colors. I'm going to show you why contour is one of my favorite things. Okay, so let's go ahead and decide how many layers we want this to be. Since this paw print has technically 5 different pieces to it, I'm going to make sure that I duplicate this enough to work on 5 different layers. Okay, and it will all make sense once I get done. So right here we have 5, but I will actually do 6. And the 6th one, I'm actually going to go ahead and hide it. No, that would be this one. Okay, I'm going to hide it. It's still technically there, but the system won't do anything with it. But that's just for me to have as a reference. Okay, so now let's start working with contour. We're going to click contour, and because we click this, what you have here is a picture of the image. If you click on any one of these areas, it's going to make it disappear. So now that paw print is actually one layer, which is fine because guess what? Now this one layer can be turned a different color. If you were to try to do that over here, because it is one layer, it's going to turn the whole thing. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, move on to our next layer. And anytime you get confused, just look over at your layers panel and it will tell you where you are. So now that we have the bottom portion of our paw print taken out, we're now going to go ahead and start working in order. So we no longer need the big piece to show, and we don't need these other little pieces up here. We're going to start from left to right. So we're going to leave that one alone. And as you can see over here, we now have another piece. So you're just going to continue doing this over and over again. You're going to click contour, and you're just going to get rid of the pieces that you don't need. It's better if you work in order so that you know what it is that you're taking out, especially if you're maybe working with a like a flower or something like that. So let's move this down here where it belongs. Okay, we'll put this here. Let's move this over here. We're going to contour again. And I always zoom out just so that I can see what it is that I'm working on. Okay, now we have our third piece here. And now our last piece. So we're going to click contour one last time. And these layer panels will also let you know what it is that you got rid of. So if you click that, oh, that's not the one I wanted to get rid of, then you can do it too. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Okay. And the good thing about this, it works even if, let's say, these circles had some hearts inside of them and you didn't want the hearts cut out, you could click the contour and it will fill this in like this instead of looking like it had heart cutouts, if that makes any sense. So now look at our paw print. It's now in different layers. So if we want to, we can go ahead and change this so that when we go to cut it out, it's going to cut these pieces out on different mats for the different colors that we plan to use with our project. Now, if you're worried about, oh man, I did this, but now my pieces don't match or everything's not sized correctly, nothing should be getting resized just due to the simple fact that you did not resize anything. All you did was just clipped it apart so that it's not one single layer image, it's now a multiple layer image. So what you can do is, this is why I always say I duplicate and hide one layer. You can just bring this one in and we're going to use this as our guide. So go ahead and select this whole image and then you want to go to arrange and send it to your front. Okay, and then that way, this bottom piece down here, we are going to use that as our guide on where to move all of our little pieces at. So we can take this one, bring it down here, take the blue one, move it over a little bit. The yellow is going to get moved here. So this is kind of like how I check my work, so to speak. Okay. So now that everything got moved where it's supposed to, I'm going to go ahead and hide my back piece again because I don't want to accidentally click that. And now what we can do is we can group this. So now if we want to, this piece is just going to be able to be moved around. It's not attached. So if we were to click make it, now you see we have everything here. There's all these different mats. Let me show you a trick. Okay. Now, if you have one mat, right, and you know that your images are going to be all of these little small pieces, and you say, you know what, I don't feel like cutting out all of these on different mats. All you simply have to do is just click these little 3 dots right here. You're going to click that and you're going to take it and you're going to move your object to whatever mat is available. If it's not highlighted, then that means it's not a mat you can move it to. So I'm going to move all of my pieces over here to my red mat because I know that maybe in this quadrant, I have some pink paper. And then over on another piece of my mat. So again, we're going to move object. We're going to take everything to our red mat. Okay. Maybe over here, I cut out a piece of paper that's going to fit about 2 inches because this is about 2 inches wide. This is maybe some gold vinyl or some gold foil paper. This could be a purple piece of paper, but we don't want to use multiple mats, but we want to use multiple materials. Now, just a heads up, if you know that all of your different materials that you're putting on here are different materials, I do not advise you to take and move everything to one mat, because what's going to happen is if you click continue, here it's going to ask you to select your device, and my device isn't connected, but what's going to happen is it's going to ask you to choose your materials, and Cricut is not going to choose those different materials for you. But if you know you're using like 5 different sheets of paper, they're all the same weights, but they're just different pattern papers, then you can go ahead and use this. So this is a way of kind of like using the snap mat feature without using the snap mat feature. And the snap mat feature is something that you can use to do the same exact thing on an iPhone or a tablet, where you would take a picture of your mat. You can have different pieces of paper around, and then you can just take your images and just move them around on your mat. Okay, so I hope that this contour helps you all out. It definitely is a time saver. I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I've gotten so used to my Cricuts now that when I do these little tips and tricks and hacks, I hear a lot of people complaining that it's so time consuming. I don't like doing multiple mats, but there are so many different things you can do within the system. You just have to play around with it or stumble across someone who can give you these tips and these hacks and show you how you can utilize them to your benefit. So if I wanted to do a paper piecing of an Easter egg, and I know I'm using the same weight paper, and I know that I can put these pieces of paper because they're all going to fit on this 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And another thing that I want to let you all know is you can do this also so that you're not always constantly cutting in the same spot on your mats. Your mats, first of all, if you slide them in where the Cricut, you see how the Cricut is sitting face up, you can actually flip your mat upside down and start cutting on the centimeter side as well, so that the stickiness of your mat isn't always wearing out in one spot. Or if you maybe have a mat and this part is no longer sticky, or you didn't feel like cleaning your mat and you know it's not sticky, you can take these pieces and move them around. So long as they're not one single layer and you have the space on your mat, you can take your image and you can move it around. Another thing I want to show you, since I am showing you how to configure these little pieces on here. Give me 1 second. No, I don't want to cancel the cut. But what I do want to do is, let me go ahead and cancel the cut, because what I want to do is get back to the mats. All right, so here, remember how we were able to move an object? You can also hide an object. So let's say that you wanted to do this really quickly, and you have all of these red pieces on here. If you know you only need to recut just the one, all you have to do is just click hide selected, click the 3 dots, hide selected, and now on the mat, it's only going to be this one little piece right here. You send it through, you're done. And these, even though they show up, they're not going to cut unless you physically make the machine cut it. So I hope that this helps you out. I'm going to try to do more videos like this, showing you the different features. I know these videos are out there. I reference them to people all of the time, but I still get asked a lot of questions on how to use the Cricut machine. So I'm just going to go ahead and start putting the videos out there for my own channel, and hopefully everyone watches them. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, please post them below. If it's something I can answer right off the top of my head, I'll be able to do that whenever I come across the comment. If not, it might take me a little bit of time. But if it's also something that I can just simply do a video for, I'll just try to do that as well, because there's a lot of people who have these Cricut machines. They're not using them. I've taught Cricut classes, but I know everyone cannot get out to a Cricut class. So YouTube is the next best thing. So thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, dolls. Smooches. Mwah. Bye.